Well, hello and thank you for joining me. I'm Monty McKinnon. Today we are going to glue the faceplate on the top of the guitar. The problem is that this thing can go cockeyed, but we don't want that. We need to have it straight across there, and I'm going to show you how to do that in just a moment, because there's a little trick that you're going to want to know. So I've cut this down to size, and I've got the angle pretty good. The blade in the saw actually moved a little bit on me, and I ended up with a little bit of a bevel. So I took this and I bumped it up against the disc sander just to take it off. Now, I know from putting the level on it that it is square and it's flat all along where I'm going to need it to be flat. It can come down here at the end. It doesn't matter because you're cutting that all off anyway. So what we're going to do here now is use this piece of plastic, and I've marked a center line on this, and I know that this edge is perfectly flat and it's square to this and it's square to the back. Like, I know that this is a square block. It could be wood. If you've got wood to use, hey, that's okay, but I happen to have this piece of plastic. So what I did is I made sure where the flat part of this comes across and then it bends down, right at that crease, I draw a pencil line. Now, that's where I'm going to want my faceplate, right up against that pencil line. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to put this on here, and I will screw it down with this. And I don't need to wrench this down. I just need to snug this up. I just don't want it to move. Now, what I can do is put the square on this. Pretty darn good. Even I'm surprised. That was all by eyeball. All right, I need to move it up just a tad. And I'm doing this while this is lightly screwed down because I can do that. All right, let's check this again. Okay. It was better when I eyeballed it, actually. Okay, now, check it again. All right, I now know that this leading edge is right at the point where this starts down, and I know that it's straight across because these sides are parallel. They're straight as a poker. So when I take this and put this up against there, like that, I know I'm going to have a straight edge and a flat edge. So let's get that going for us. And I'm going to mark here the center line where I'm going to want this, because I've got a center post here. Yes. Okay, so we're good to go. What we do next is we use that glue device that was given to us at birth, and we stick some glue on here. It's going to fit, so let's load her up. And you'll get some squeeze out here. Okay, we've got that taken care of. No, I'll do that later. By the way, I don't know about you, but when I build, I talk to myself all the time. That's the only way to get intelligent answers. So I'll just spread this around here with that device I was talking about. I don't want any on the front leading edge here. Okay. Now you know this stuff skates, right? It slides around when you put it on, and I got lots of glue on here, so I'm just going to let this set for a bit. Now, what I've just done here is I've taken a measurement knowing that this is going to be fitting in at the front end here. The truss slot will be adjusted from here, and I'm about to cover this up, but I need to know how far down it comes and how far it's going to come from there. And for me, that in this particular situation, that measured 25 millimeters, which is, as we know, or centimeters. Yes, that will clamp on. I've got my center line here on the peg head, and that little piece I put in there, I know exactly where that's to go. All right, so let's just... Well, that worked out pretty good, don't you think? It's square, so when we end up putting the nut in there, it will be tight against the peg head, and it will look very nice and aesthetically pleasing, because when we put the fingerboard on here like this, then what we'd actually do is put a nut in there and push this up against it, and then clamp this and glue it. And then what happens is we take that out, and so we got the slot for the nut, and it just fits perfectly. So that's the way it's done. All right, well, thank you. I hope you've downloaded your jig plans. If you haven't, send me an email, and we're going to do a video on Tea with Monty. So if you've got some questions, I would like you to send me your questions, and I will gather up your questions. Now, in the last comment section on my last video, there were some really good questions. And honestly, what I did is I answered your questions, and I didn't make a copy of them so that I could do it on the vlog, which was pretty dumb, if you don't mind me saying so. So if you've got some questions or you want to repeat your questions, by all means. There was one about humidity, which was a really good question, and somebody else dumped some tea into their guitar, and I'll tell you how we went about fixing that up and what I suggested for cleaning that up. So that's it for this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and thanks very much for hanging in there with me. I appreciate you more than you know. Thanks so much. Bye for now.